URSP.
URSP.
You have to register with URSP. So the standard UNBS, the one that I was referring to, that is done for standards.
Then the Uganda Registration Service Bureau.
Service Bureau is the first step.
Okay.
Second step, you must have an investment license.
Okay. Now, who gives the license?
Who gives the license? Uganda Investment Authority.
Okay.
Gives you the investment license.
Okay.
So if you have the investment license, because we only give investment license to someone who has a registered company. So the first thing is you go to URSP and register your company. So once you've registered your company, you come and get an investment license. And so when you get the investment license, that now makes you, it catapults you to the second stage, the third stage of applying for land.
Okay.
And so once you apply for land, it comes with all the other incentives. Incentives like plant and machinery that you don't have to pay tax for. So, but you know that when you're registering a company, you have to have a business plan. Because without a business plan, we would think that you're just a briefcase company, even when you've registered.
True.
So you must present your business plan. So those are some of the yardsticks that we use. A business plan, clear, if you're just starting, of course we'll not be asking you for your books of accounts.
Okay.
Because you're just starting.
Yes.
But we'll ask you for source of financing because we don't want to do money laundering and encourage money laundering. So we have to ask you your source of financing.
Okay.
So once you tell us your source of financing, you show us your business plan, you show us that it is registered, you show us that you have an investment license. Bingo, you're ready to get the land and all the incentives.
How easy is it to access land in Uganda if you're a local investor?
Extremely easy.
Okay.
Like I say.
No criteria, no tough criteria?
Nothing, no tough. The problem is we hate documentation.
Oh.
We Ugandans, we don't like to have documentation. Like all just these two processes that I've told them, that you must have a registered company, they will not want to register their company.
We don't love streamlining things.
We don't like streamlining things. We just want to do our things. Freedom. Because there's too much freedom in the country, so we just want to
can build a factory, start selling, you're good to go.
That's not how it is. You have to be more organized. Because if you're organized, then you're credit worthy.
Okay.
And so this is what we're trying to build Ugandans, not only for the Ugandan market, but for the international market.
Okay.
And then the other challenge about Ugandans being able to penetrate the external market is because they don't like to certify their products.
Oh.
So you have to certify your product.
Okay.
And the fees for certification is very, very small. We've revised those figures down. So you have to be able to certify your products. I see some people in their backyards, they've done very well. When I'm going through exhibitions, I see them doing value addition on cocoa. And you see someone has done butter. They've done very well. But the problem is the product is not certified. You have all these cosmetics that you're making, but when you ask them, where is the Q mark? Where is the UNBS Q mark? It's not there.
They don't have.
Because they don't want to have. So this is very difficult. You can only then sell your products very cheaply.
Okay.
Then you can't recover the return on your investment.
Okay.
Then it also affects you. So for international, you must, for instance, have the ISOs. If you don't have ISO, which is ISOs, the international standard, if you don't have that certification, you can be sure that nobody will buy your things in Europe. Even when the president has negotiated
the deal for market, you can't export.
You can't export.
Okay.
So it is very, very important that you certify your products.
All right. Honorable, now let's look at the issue of the investment summit that was supposed to happen in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We were all interested in knowing about that because ever since the DRC is now part of the East African community. Should we expect it this year?
Yes, we should. Actually, the first team of Ugandans went and they had a very good experience in two states. They went to the capital, they went to Kinshasa, and then they came to Goma.
Okay.
It was very good. My colleague, Minister Honorable Harriet Ntabasi was there.
Okay.
And that was the first leg. So we were going with the second leg, which was a bigger team of 200 investors. We got all of them subscribed and ready to go. But you've seen what is happening in the DRC. So now is not the right time. They've told us we have to give some time and maybe go around November.
Okay.
So we had to postpone, but in November certainly we would go.
Okay. And now let's also now look at the key areas of investment. I think the next financial year is giving us an assurance that it's a pro-people budget, first of all, that was presented recently. So what are the key areas of investment in the next financial year for the Ugandans?
First, I want to start with the 39% of the population.
Okay.
Because this is what makes the budget pro-people. Because oftentimes you had at the State of Nation and also at the budget reading, actually this was mainly in the budget reading, His Excellency was talking about the roads that we've done with all our own money. And when I was a politician, an active politician before I decided to be an investor, the voters will ask me this question: do we eat the road? So it's not exciting for them. So if you do for them these good roads, but then they'll say, do we eat the road?
They're here to know the impact it has.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, this financial year, we have a classic example, certification for the 38%. That is, those who are not in the money economy, we want to bring them to the money economy.
Okay.
Our relatives deep in the village. So, how can we support them? We have to support them through the parish development program. Which parish development program is going to address two key problems.
Okay.
One problem that parish development model is going to address is the issue of food security.
Okay.
Because productivity is going to go up. Because through the parish development models and its pillars and the enterprises that we've done selections on, that means that there will be more production and productivity in the agricultural sector.
Okay.
But again, it is going to address the issue of raw materials for agro-industrialization.
All right.
So for agro-industrialization, once they be able to let me give you the example of piggery.
Okay.
If many investors, many Ugandans at that lower level, who are coming together in their groups or in their home states, and they have this enterprise of rearing pigs, then in that zone, remember it is per parish, 100 million per parish.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So if they get this money and they choose any of those enterprises that government has guided according to their zones. By the way, the enterprises, whether it is coffee, we've only selected that for that area where it is sure that it will do very well.
Okay.
For instance, you cannot say that the people of Arua should start doing value addition in it or growing coffee. It will not do very well. But the people of Zombo will. Okay. Because the environment, the climate, and the soil is very conducive for them. Okay. So this is what we did. And we done enterprise selections basing on how the enterprises have been doing by themselves on those areas. But this time, stimulating it by giving more capital to the people, and they're the ones who go to choose and buy what they really want, their inputs themselves, as opposed to governments previously giving the inputs through NADS, and then you take cassava stocking, and it just gets dried in the district headquarters. No, this time you choose your enterprise and you go and buy the inputs. Okay. And this is going to drive demand for the food security will be addressed, and then value addition that we want to do on agricultural products will be able to sufficiently be done, because the factories will be able to be supplied by our own farmers, and they will be able to satisfy the needs of the manufacturers in those industrial parks. Okay, Honorable, let's get these questions here as we sum up. Someone says, over the years, companies have run out of business, and likes of Africell, Nakumat, and asking what could be contributing to this particular closure. And he asks, what is the impact of the closure of such companies to Uganda's future investors? No. AfriCell was your neighbor, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It was just here.
So the problem of those companies was not Uganda.
Okay.
We were not the cause of their closure. This was an external factor, and that is the COVID that came, that hit them. And once COVID hit these companies from their countries of origin, you remember that these are just subsidiary companies.
Okay.
They are not organic companies that were in Uganda, that they started from here. They were just subsidiary companies. So they had to downsize.
Okay.
And this is a decision entirely that was arrived at by their boards. And I say this and I speak with confidence because I interacted with these companies before they closed. When they were doing badly and they started struggling, I, as the Minister of Investment, my job is to attract, facilitate, and give aftercare to all investors.
Okay.
Both domestic and foreign. So aftercare, as they were struggling, they approached me and they told me that they're struggling. And I had to come in and say, what is the problem? Why are you struggling? The issue was all about finances.
Okay.
So they were not able to repay their debts from where they borrowed the money. For the companies that borrowed their money within Uganda, we are able to do something. Our president came in and said, okay, fine, can we give them a grace period, extend the grace period. Within the COVID period, like we had to give companies 3 months that they don't have to repay, so that we give them time to recover. We also had to give them a stimulus package. So, but for this company whose financings, these two, whose financing was not within our jurisdiction, it was clearly very impossible for them to salvage them. So we couldn't salvage them, and thus they collapsed. They closed here. But by the way, they did not close globally. These companies still do exist in their
but not in Uganda
origin.
Yes.
And then they also had to look at the market share.
Just like ShopRite closed in here, Kenya, and some good stores.
And then they left in South Africa. It still remained open.
Yes.
And so you have to narrow down, and this is because of business pressure. By the way, business has its ups and downs.
Okay. Honorable, now someone also here on Twitter says that he thinks every developing country that has high rates of corruption will never support local investors because the big guys, he puts it in quotation, state diplomatic immunity, got a piece of bread. So they believe the local investors don't have that chance.
That is not true. Why am I speaking?
Okay.
In a television station owned by a local investor. Where was I yesterday? In a television station owned by a local investor.
Yes.
Where am I going after here? To another television station owned by a local investor. So all these are investments. It is not true that local investors cannot thrive.
Okay.
The only challenge we have as citizens of the country is that we like to blame. When you're doing very well, they'll either say that you went under the water, or they say you stole taxpayers' money, or they will say that you're not the right owner, there is another owner, assumed owner. They think you cannot do it. And so it is pull her down or pull him down syndrome. We don't believe that we Ugandans can do it.
Okay.
And so this is the biggest challenge. And so when we see the foreign companies coming on their own, and you see Anita running with them, you think that Anita has shares in Pepsi, she has got shares in Hima, she's got shares in all these companies, because you're seeing her in the factories, all those industrial parks. No, it is my job. And when you see the president commissioning those factories, I was very disheartened. I went to visit a local investor who started the first glove, East African Medical Vitals.
Okay.
And this gentleman, Ben Kavia, this is his company. He started, and I remember when he started from zero. Like when he came to my office at the stage of asking for the land, I asked him the documentation. When he was struggling to ask for money, finances to do his company, to make the gloves, everything. Like I walked the journey with him, from groundbreaking to seeing. I did not see the other people they thought that they're the original owners. I never saw them anywhere. But I saw this gentleman struggling, toiling every day and struggling and saying, Anita, can I get money from UDB? Where can I get a cheaper credit line and all this? The day of commissioning, you know what they said? Oh, that one. He's just someone's worker. That company belongs to another person, a big name in town. They actually said it on my
big
Twitter.
name in government.
In government. And I'm like, these guys, are they really serious?
Well, that's
they think that everything that is
belongs to the government.
Belongs to the first family. That's not true. You know, I was with General Sale one time and he made this, and I have to crack this joke. So, and everything, you know, the chipande that they put, those signages that they put for sale. So it is for sale, for sale, for sale. He tells me, someone said he owns everything. They came asking him that they read on a chipande, on a signage, that this land is for sale. So can you sell it to me?
So he had no idea about that.
It is just written for sale.
Okay.
And they translate that to mean sale.
Sale, for sale.
For sale.
Hey.
So this is the problem. We don't want to read, we don't want to understand, and we don't think that we can own, and we don't think that we can be rich. And it's a mental state
that we need to change.
You have to change.
Okay.
For instance, some people are saying, Anita, you've become too rich so soon. How long must it take for one to become rich?
I don't think it has a time frame.
It doesn't have a time frame. You have to work hard.
Okay. Honorable, in a minute, your last remarks as we're winding up with our discussion.
My last remark for the discussion is, first, I want to congratulate the local investors, starting with Honorable Nabeta, the proprietor of Smart24. I thank you very much for investing in your country. And I want to encourage many, many other Ugandans to invest in their country. Today and yesterday and today for me is an amazing day because I've just been visiting properties by local investors. So to Ugandans, it is possible. We can do it. We just have to change our attitude.
Okay.
We have the enabling environment. I told you we have the security, we have the market, we have access to credit. Yes, interest rate is a challenge, we're addressing that. So if we have the infrastructure, which is the road, the rail, which we're working on. And so as we do this, please take the decision now. Invest correctly. Stop investing your money in cars. It won't help you. I have been tempted severally because my husband loves good cars. And I tell him, darling, I don't think that the first decision is to buy a Range Rover. I love to drive a Range Rover. One day I will. But before I drive a Range Rover,
let me put money somewhere.
Let me put money where I can get a return. Because when I invest in a Range Rover,
it's not making any returns.
It actually takes more money from me. The spare parts are very expensive. The servicing it is very expensive. So it is a money taker. It means all the money out of you. But if you get your money and you invest it in hotel, you get your money and you invest it in a small value addition in stock making factory like I do, you can be sure that you will be recycling your capital and you're getting your more money, you make profit. But you'll not lose your money.
Yes.
But what do Ugandans do? The first job,
buy
first salary, buy a good car. Second salary, I think this car is now old, let me buy a new one. Then my girlfriend needs another car also.
Let me buy for her.
Buy for my girlfriend. So you're not investing the right way. Investing in women, it's good, but
deadly, eh? All right. I do hope you've enjoyed the discussion here. I've been having Honorable Evelyn Anita Kajik. I got the name right.
Yes.
That is the State Minister for Investment, State Minister of Finance for Investment and Privatization. And surely, if at all you missed the discussion, you can go into YouTube Smart24. Remember to subscribe and get the rest of what we've been having today. We were looking at Uganda'S potential and opportunities in the investment in the upcoming financial year. Stick around with me. I'm getting back in the next 5 minutes to give you sports business. Good morning.